to look at how to use the print tool. You know, how to convert, or basically how to rasterize your data. Okay, so in QGIS, I said earlier, anything you see on this layer are the things that will appear where in your legends. Okay, so at this point you need to rename your layer. For instance, what I have here, I have the word shapefile. Okay, so and I named it word, and I have Nigerian shapefile. I brought in Nigerian shapefile. From then I brought in Anambra State, and in Anambra State I brought in Awka South. Okay, I brought in Awka South. Okay, but I noticed something. Awka South still have a name, and I said if you want to use the legend, you also, since you have the name on the legend, there is no need putting the name on the work again. So we need to remove the name by right clicking, going to property, then on label I will remove name. So I think this one everybody knows how to do this. It's not a new operation. Then from there I had my Greg. Okay, so please watch so that you don't have to repeat this recording. So just, I'm going from here now. I said you go to your print composer. Okay, you will see new print layout. So if you click on new print layout, you're supposed to give it a unique, it says enter a unique title. So you can decide to use a title, or you can decide to use a number. Let's say we are using a title, let's say Don Greg. Don Greg Park. Okay, and say okay. So it will open a new print layer for me. Now anything I put here, I can be able to rasterize it. And when I say rasterize, it's converting our vector into raster, into image file. Okay, so from here you can see this menu by your left. Okay, let me minimize so that you can see it on the projector. You can see this menu by your left here. You can see this menu. In this menu, the first one is the one you use in moving the object. The second one is a zoom. The third one is to select item. Select item is any item in that box. This one can move everything together with the box. Then this one is to move item in the contents. Inside the box. Then this one is a edit notes. This particular one is to add a new map layout. That is, if you want to bring what you have in your QGIS environment, it is this one you use. This one is the one you use to add picture. Maybe picture inside your phone, inside your system. Any picture saved inside the system, you can bring that picture here. Okay, then this one is the one you use to type text, to write maybe the name of the map, you know, and so on. This one is your legend. Okay, if you want to add legend, then this one is your scale, if you want to add scale bar. And this one is if you want to add shape, maybe rectangle, you know, if you want to add rectangle, if you want to add ellipse, if you want to add triangle. This one is for arrow, if you want to add arrow. Okay, This one is to add node items. This is to add HTML. And of course, this one, the last one, is to add attribute table. Like that attribute table you have, if you want to bring it to this point. Okay, so let me maximize so that we'll move faster. So I will go straight to add map item, add map item, add map item. So don't write it as a note. Use your arrow the way I told you. Use arrow. What's that? Go to menu at the left. Arrow down. Click, or you put add whatever item. That's how to write note for this. So when I click on it, I will draw the map exactly where I want it to appear. Okay, so it has given me given me what I had in my GIS environment, and I told you the smaller the scale, the larger the map. So, and I want this map to be large enough. Okay, I want it to be large enough. I will now, for it to be large enough, I will reduce the scale. So I have 1193. So I'll reduce it to like half of it. Let's say 600 to see how it will look. So meaning that I can still reduce more. So maybe if I say 550, or let me say 500, I think this is okay for me. Then from here, the next thing that I will do is, from here, the next thing I will do is to do what? Add grid. Add grid. Okay? Is to add grid. To add grid. So for us to add grid, you click on the plus button. If you click on grid, click on the plus button. Okay? On this plus button, you will see grid. You double click on it. Or sorry, you click on it and click modify grid. Modify grid. So it will bring out this for you, where you see the longitude, the latitude, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, the grid type, for me, the grid type, you choose the grid type you want. If it's solid, if it's cross, if it's marked, you know, and so on. So, but I'm taking solid for now. CRS, we need to change our CRS. What do we say our CRS is? It's coordinate referencing system, or coordinate reference system. And of course, what we need is WGS 84, and we say okay. Now, for the intervals, you leave it at map units. Now, this is where it's a bit confusing. You'll be the one to now choose the interval. Now, I'll do something. For instance, if I put 5 here, look at the map, what will happen? There's nothing happening. Now, because this map is a very small map. Okay, let me use the Nigeria map to repeat this process, for instance. Now, let me go back to my QGIS, pick Nigeria, okay, because that's what I want to appear in my map, right? I'll now go back to my print composer, okay, go back to my print composer, and I'll say update. So I want to delete this and add a new just the way I did that other one. Because it's Nigeria, I want it to be a bit bigger. Okay, this is my Nigeria, right? So the same thing, we go down to the scale, right? I want this to be bigger. I want this to be bigger. So I just need to reduce the scale so that it will be bigger. Okay, I think it's big enough, or should I reduce more? Okay, so now let's go to add grid, just like I mentioned earlier, right? So to the grid, add grid one, modify. So, and I'll change the CRS to WGS 84. Now the map unit for X, for instance, if I say 1 here, you see it's adding the longitude line for you. Okay, so let's say if I say 2, you will see how it will change. Okay, so depends on the way you want it to apply. Let's see, if I say 3, okay, so it's giving me the spacing, you know, and so on and so forth. If I go to, you know, it's points, if I say 3.1 for instance, you see to readjust it a little bit. So I think 3.1 is okay for me. It's not general, so you keep doing it till you get what you want. That's why we say it's art and science. You learn the same thing, but another person will put creativity into his own, and his map looks better than your own. So because I have this for X, and what do we say our X is? Our longitude. I will do the same thing for Y. Okay, so longitude and latitude, right? Now look at this type. I said solid. If I say cross, this is how cross look like. If I say mark, this is how marks look like. Okay, if I say frames and annotation, you won't see how frames and annotation is. It means that it is on the frame that they should add the coordinate, not putting lines inside. Okay, now I will show you what frames and annotation is when we get to another point. So I will still leave it at this solid. Okay, here you can edit the line. Okay, you can edit the line here. You can increase the width of the line, you can reduce the width of the line. Okay, so you can reduce the width of the line. So some can leave it like this so that it doesn't interfere with the diagram. Okay, now what else? You can even put dash lines depending on what you want. So it can put, so it depends on how you want it. You can put dash line, so it depends on how you want it. You can put any type of line. Okay, you can put a gray line, depends. Okay, if you make mistake, you can come here to undo. Okay, you can redo. I don't know if you get that. Okay, so depending on what you want, so you can reduce the width of the line, you can increase the width of what? The line. You can increase the opacity, you can reduce the opacity. Yeah, so you can even change the color if you so wish. Okay, so let's go back to this property. So what we wanted is a solid line stroke. So all this we are trying to do what? We are trying to work on the line. Okay, now here you can actually add a frame, for instance a zebra frame. sorry, let me show you how the frames are. So if you choose no frame, that means there's no frame. You choose zebra. This is how zebra is. And you choose interior tick, that is, the tick is interior. If you choose exterior tick, the tick is exterior. So you can play around with the properties. Okay, so let's probably go with zebra, and coming down here, okay, all is fine. So let's go back. Let's go back. So still on we are modifying the grids, right? So let's go down. So here there is something called draw coordinates. Draw coordinates. So if I click on draw coordinates, you see the coordinates will appear. I don't know if you're seeing it. The coordinates is appearing. Now I can decide that this left one should be horizontal, vertical. Okay, look at it. I just turned it to vertical. This left one, I can decide the right one to also be vertical, ascending. You see it? Now I can decide to go and increase the size, the font, to play with the fonts. Okay, I can make it on font 8. If I say maybe font 18 and I say okay, look at how it appears. Okay, so you choose the font you want. This is where you play around with font. If you want it to be bold, you click on bold. If you want it to be regular, if you want it to be underlined, so you can even change the writing style. Okay, you can change the font style, maybe to any, as you are doing it, you are seeing the preview. Okay, to any of your choice. So if I click, for instance, this, and maybe I want it to be bold, I'll go back to say bold, and this is it. Now moving forward, you'll see that here we can choose the format we want. If we want decimal degree minutes, seconds, you know, most of you encountered that problem when collecting your coordinates. So we can choose that it should be on decimal. You see, this one is decimal. You can choose that it will be decimal and surface. If I choose decimal and surface, it will show decimal, then it will show the surface. You know what surface is? The north or the east. Okay, if I choose degree minutes, it will convert it automatically to degree minutes with degree minutes. Say it has converted it to degree minutes. If you want it to be degree minutes with surface, okay, so depending on what the client wants, okay, or what you are comfortable with in terms of interpretation, but it will be good that your coordinates, everything you are doing should be uniform. You started with decimal degree, right? So it will be good you have decimal degree with your surface, right? So if you come down, there is where you have accuracy, precision. This precision is, for instance, is on 3. If I say the precision should be on 2, that means it will just be up to, it will just be on 2 decimal. Okay, if I say 1, it will be on 1 decimal. But usually you see coordinates, usually is on 3 decimal, 4 decimal, because the more the distance, the more precise it is, right? So let's say 3 and go on. So we are done with the coordinates, right? So we go back. We are done with drawing the coordinates, right? So we go back. Let's say, for instance, let's go back to this appearance. Let me say I will change it to solid. You see how solid is, okay? I think you understand better now. You see how marked is. So which one is better for what we're doing? Okay, we should go with solid. Yeah. Sometimes when you are presenting a work, the solid usually interferes with the details, okay? But this solid is important when you are georeferencing, which will be our next class, georeferencing, okay? But for now, let's go with just the annotation. I will tell you the reason. So I want to save now. I will now export it as what? As image. So if I export it as image, I will name it what? Nigeria. I will name it Nigeria. Okay? And save. So it will ask me if I want to save it I like saving in 600 dpi. Okay? And I will save. Now I've done for Nigeria. Because I have the word shapefile, I want to do for the world. Okay? Now I'll go back to my QGIS and uncheck Nigeria, then check the world. Now zoom it out. Okay? Now, but when I'm checking the world, I want Nigeria to appear. I want Nigeria to appear as where I'm taking that from. Okay, so, and I'll go back to my print composer just in case I don't want to repeat. Normally I'm supposed to do another print composer for the world. Okay, so let's do another print composer for the world and run it very fast. Okay, so another print composer, so I will call this one world. Okay, and say okay, because it's the world, I'm going fast now. I'll just draw a very big canvas, big rectangle on the canvas. It will bring the world for me. I don't need to increase or decrease it. I will go to the properties. Okay, I'll just go straight to the add grid. In grid, I will modify the grid and add a coordinate. Okay, C1, how one is that one that I click, that is this thing in Nigeria. Look at how it is in the world, no space. So for instance, if I say 10, for instance, look at how 10 is in the world. Okay, if I say, let's say 100, okay, and I'm okay with 100, at the same thing I go to the X and Y and do the same thing. At this point, you can use this to position your map very well, the way you want it to be in the center. Okay, then from this point, I will go and draw coordinates. And when I draw coordinates, I prefer this one to be ascending, left ascending, right also ascending. And from there, I do what? The precision is okay for me. It's just the font, and maybe I'll make it 18 and see if it's big enough. And of course, I'll go down. I'll close appearance and close frame. I'll go to this and say degree minutes. Remember, we say you need to be consistent. Remember what we choose in the first one when we're drawing our frame. When we're drawing our frame, what did we use? We use zebra, right? So we also use zebra here, and we also save by exporting as image. This time around we call it the world. Okay, and we save. I said I like to save in 600 dpi, but the more the dpi, the more. So, but at this point, I don't want annotation. I don't want the solid. So I will go to appearance and remove it from solid to put it to this. Okay, so I will export again. as image and use it to replace this one. Yeah, I'm replacing, and that's it. Now I'll go back to my QGIS and pick Anambra. Okay, so but there's something that happened. Now when I did Nigeria, I'm supposed to show Anambra on it, so that by the time I'm putting my arrow, somebody will know I brought out Anambra from Nigeria. So what I'll do is to go back to the print composer where I had Nigeria and go to update it. I'll just go up, they say update preview. So you see this one will appear. I'll just save that, so I don't need to repeat all those process. I'll go and replace it with this. So just follow me gradually. We're going somewhere. Then I'll go back and now do Anambra. But while I'm doing Anambra, I want Awka South, sorry, to appear. So that's why I highlighted Awka and Anambra. And of course, the right thing to do is to give it, to do another print composer called Anambra. Okay? And say okay. Then on this one, we'll go very fast this time around, since we all know the process now. So bring out our Anambra, make it what? Bigger by reducing, okay, the scale. 70 is still too big. Let's say 65. Is it okay like this? Okay, so we'll just, you see I'm repeating the same process. I'm not doing something new, right? So we'll add grid, modify the grid. Of course, we want to work on solid. And here, just see, if I put 1, what will happen? Are you noticing something when I said Nigeria? Because, so that means I have to go after the decimal to be able to get the coordinates that will fit this one. Okay, so when I say here now, let me go outside the decimal and put 5 so that you see. This is 0.5 so that you see. So that means the bigger. You see the issue of the scale that we've been talking about, right? Now, so, and if I say maybe 55 of 1, okay, no, that's this one I had is better. Then I'll do the same thing to what I have in the left. I'll still do it to this thing. Then I will go down. The next thing I need to do is to choose the frame, and we said the zebra that we want. I will draw the coordinates, change it to degree, minutes, seconds, and go down, change this one to vertical, change this other one to also vertical. Okay, then the next thing to do is the font, change it to 18. We'll change it to 18. So, we choose maybe 18 so that it will be bolder, and we'll go again to repeat the process to say export, and we export as Anambra, and make this 600. Usually I like that 600 dpi, but we had an agreement that it will not be solid, that it will be frame and annotation, right? Then we'll come and forward it to replace it to Anambra, replace, and we say 600 dpi. Now we'll go back, we'll go again to what? Back to our print composer. This time around we have Awka South and the Dongreg. But if you look at it, Dongreg is just a dot there, but we'll still work with it like that, and we'll create another print composer and call this one Awka South. Okay, and we'll repeat the process. Okay, we'll repeat the process by adding the map, this frame. We're gradually coming towards the end of the lecture for today. And 9, it is in 9, so let's say 8. Okay, this is okay. Then we rush down to what? To grid. I hope you are getting it better now. Grid, and this time around, you know that if we put 5 here, nothing will happen. Okay, so maybe we'll go to the next side of the decimal and try a number. Okay, which is fine. And go again, then go down to frame. We choose zebra, and we go and draw coordinates and use decimal degree surface and change this to vertical ascending. Here, then we change the font size to what? To 18. So it depends on what you are working on. Okay, I made mistake. There's a mistake somewhere. Okay, it's not the top that I'm supposed to put vertical. It's the... So you can also make it inside the frame or outside the frame. For instance, inside the frame, you see it inside. Outside the frame, you see it outside. But it's usually better outside the frame. So then this left will be ascending. I think we are okay with this. But this time around, we'll remove solid and say frame with annotation. And we export as image. So we are just repeating process. So I just hope everybody will get it this time around. So we are in the last stage. So in this last stage now, which is the Dongreg itself, that is our area of interest, that is our AOI, our area of interest. So we go again to create for Dongreg. Greg Park. Remember, we have created one earlier and we used that one for Nigeria, so we need to differentiate to maybe Dongreg Park 1 then and say okay. So this is the last one. So watch what I want to do now. Here I will not draw a very big arrow, I will not draw a very big box. I will draw small like this because I want to use these other parts to put the world map here, to put Nigeria here, to put Anambra, to put Oka, and to also have place for my legends, for my scale, and so on. So I will also reduce this so that I will have the Dongreg big. Okay, so I think if we have 500 and something. Okay, it's cutting. Let's increase this to 5. Okay, so I think this is okay. So we rush where? To add grid. Then we add a grid, we'll modify the grid. And of course, if we go on this second bar, we can't get anything. What we get is maybe from the third. Even on the third is still too, because Dongreg is too small. So we can check from here and see. Okay. So you keep modifying it till you get what you want. Okay, so I think this is okay. I think this is okay. Yeah. So I think this is okay, right? So we'll go down and do what? To add these are coordinates, take degree, minutes, surface, then take this one to ascending, this one to vertical ascending also, come down to the font, 18, okay, and go to the frame. We say what we want is zebra. Is it okay like this? So we'll go to reduce, but this time around I don't want to remove this annotation. I don't want to remove it. I'll tell you I don't want to remove the solid. I'll tell you, I just want to make it faint. Maybe make it look smaller, you know, faint. I want it to be known, because when I want to draw reference, or if somebody wants to draw reference in the future, okay, then what we need to do now is to bring our word shape, the word that we created. So instead of clicking this, let me minimize so that you see it. Instead of clicking this to put a map, we'll put a picture, because we had already rasterized it. Okay, so we'll now click this to bring it as a picture. So if I click on it, it will ask me where do I want to keep the picture. I'll draw something like this, for instance. So if I draw something like this, I will come here and it will tell me image source. Image source. I'll go to find my image where I kept it. And remember, I told you everything should be in your 212 file. And which image am I looking for? I'm looking for the word. I'll pick the word and put here. Okay, so I have the word here. Okay, now if I zoom it, it's not faint, just that when you zoom it, everything will come out. And that is the importance of that my 600 DPI, because I saved it very heavy so that it cannot pixelate very easy. So remember, I can use this to change the position where I want it to be. Okay, from there I will now rush to go and bring my Nigeria. Okay, I also keep Nigeria here, and I will go and take the source and bring my Nigeria. Nigeria, we hail thee. Okay, then after Nigeria, I will rush to go and bring what? Anambra State. And from Anambra, I will rush to go and bring who again? Awka South. I will now go and bring Awka South. Awka South. Okay, so I have my Nigeria, I have this one, I have Awka South. Okay, so I still have space, so I can still make this one large, because this is my area of interest. This is actually my interest, not these ones. Okay, but they are also quite important, but they are not the main interest here. So I arrange them well. So remember, when I enlarged it, something happened. So I need to go back to my scale to increase the scale so that it will be inside. Okay. So from here, I will add arrow. You know where to add arrow from that left menu. So I'll add arrow and draw the arrow from Nigeria on the world map to Nigeria here. Okay, so I will add another arrow. So you are trying to speak to your map. If somebody is reading it, he will know where you are bringing all these things out from. Okay, no, this one didn't go well. This arrow didn't go well, so let me remove it and draw another one. So I will do it a bit faster, please. Our time is fast spent. I have well, sorry, I will need to zoom this so that I can, so you remember, you understand what I'm doing, right? I just want to zoom this so that I can easily work on it. Hope we know how to zoom, right? So I'm bringing out Anambra from Nigeria. Okay, then I'm bringing out Oka North from Anambra. Then I'm bringing out the whole of this Dongreg. Remember, we have this Dongreg here. Hope you can still see it. So our arrow has to come from that place, showing that it's from this point that we brought out this whole Dongreg. We are sending it here. Okay, so but we can shift this this thing because it's conflicting with the coordinates. So okay, so our map is almost ready. But a map will not be complete until it has some elements. What are the elements I said? It must have a north arrow. Okay? It must have a north arrow because it's the north arrow that will show you how to place your map, the direction to place your map. So we'll add north arrow by also adding it as image, right? So we'll click image, then you draw where you want your north arrow to be. Now, this time around, instead of going for the image source, you click search directory. This directory are things watch. Instead of clicking this, you add search directory. Directory are things already saved inside your, that is by default inside your QGIS. So you see many symbols, hospital, flyover, whatever. You know? So you just go and pick the symbol that you want. And the symbol we want is a north arrow symbol. Okay? Right? Then the next thing to add, your map is not complete until you have a legend. Okay? And your legend, look at the legend here. You pick legend. Let me show you. You pick legend here. Add legend. You come and draw it where you want to add the legend. So look at what he brought for you. He brought Don Greg. He brought Oka South, Oka and Anambra State, Nigeria, and the world, and with distinct colors. We say what are attribute 5? Attribute type of data is the data that explains the spatial data, right? Now, so I want to make this I want to edit this my legend. Columns, I want it to be 2 columns so that it will just enter this place, or maybe make it 3 columns. Okay, so I can also change the fonts here. This is where you change the font size, you know, and so on. You can do any kind of manipulation you want to manipulate here. Then the next thing that will make your map is that you must have a scale, because all maps are drawn to scale, right? So we'll draw, and scale should be the last thing that you draw, because after drawing the scale, if you touch the map again, it won't adjust the scale. So when you are done with your map completely, you now adjust the scale. And we'll now draw our scale. This is our scale. Usually I like my scale being inside the map of reference, like putting it inside here, so that anybody reading the map will know that this scale is for only this map inside. Are we together? Yeah, but I also discovered that that is where your artistic skill matters now. I felt that I still have space where I can enlarge this my Don Greg to look bigger. Okay, for instance, I think I can still enlarge it a little bit. Okay, I still have places to play around with. I still have space to play around because there's nothing I'm putting down here. Okay, so all I just need to do is this my arrow. Is to make this my arrow leave the coordinates. You know, you can still modify this arrow. Okay, if you click here, arrow. Okay, sorry. You can modify this arrow by manipulating it here. The properties, change the color. You can also increase the head of the arrow or reduce it here. Okay, you can even reduce the width, you can increase it. Okay, so you can actually manipulate your arrow depending on how and what you want. Okay, then from this I can now comfortably add my scale. Okay, so let me show you other functions like the text. You can write here, you can write something, you can click on text, okay, and write something. You can click on text, then you write something. Anything you write, a map of Don Greg Park. Okay, so you can increase the size, you can do so many things. You can make it 18, 20, depending on how you want it. You can underline it, you can do whatsoever you want, okay, with it. But usually I don't like putting right up on my map, because anywhere I place the map, if it's on a document, I will still put figure 1, map of study or map of so place. But for the sake of this practical, let's just leave it this way. Okay, then there is something I used to do personally. It's not for everybody. I usually like my map to have like a border, but this is not part of this class, but just something I learned over time. I felt it used to make my map a bit unique, so I usually pick triangle. When I pick triangle, I will just, like a rectangle, sorry, I will fit it well, then go and make the rectangle transparent. Okay, so usually make the rectangle transparent. Okay, so that my map will just come with something like so we are done with this. We will now save. We will now export it as what? Image. When we export it as image, it's carrying the name already, Don Greg Park. So Don Greg Park, or map of Don Greg Park this time around. Map of Don Greg Park. Then Usually I also want, at this point you can leave it as 300, you can make it 600 depending on what you want to use it for, and I will save. So gentlemen and ladies, we will now go to our 212 file to go and look for the map of Dongreg and open it. This is what you will now show a client. Okay, so this one we can send it to you can send it via email, you can share it via Bluetooth. This one is the rasterized format. Okay, so this ladies and gentlemen, will end this class. Okay, here, usually remember in your QGIS, no matter what you do, at the end you are supposed to do what? You are supposed to save your work. Okay, you need to save your work, or you click Ctrl S, and that is it. So thank you for today, and you expect another recording on georeferencing.